A few days ago, I made a video in which I made fun of NephilimFree's latest idiotic idea. In it, I described NephilimFree's idea that islands and volcanoes were created because God split open the earth, caused the continents to slide across the earth, and the sliding of the continents caused the rock underneath to suddenly become magma. Some of the viewers of that video suggested that I should actually debunk the idea rather than just make fun of it. So, here it is. NephilimFree debunkage. First, let me show you the clip in which NephilimFree admits to believing all of this, just to let you all know that I'm not lying just to make fun of NephilimFree. Listen closely.
The Hawaiian Islands, like all islands on the earth, are directly or indirectly a product of the flood of Noah, which caused the earth. You see, when God split the earth open at the mid-oceanic ridges, the continents slid apart away from these ridges. And the tremendous volume of rock material grinding its way across the surface of the earth, the crust of the earth, ground massive amounts of rock into, made it very hot, and turned it into molten material. See, it became magma. And this magma is now surfacing all around the world and has since the flood, and is the reason for all the volcanoes of the world as well. And it's what's caused all the islands of the world.
I don't even know what to do with this, Nephilim. You obviously have no idea how geology works at all. How do you expect the continents to slide across the Earth's crust? The continents are part of the Earth's crust. They are both parts of the same thing, the lithosphere. Unless you plan to separate the oceanic crust from the continental crust with God's magical Jesus powers and cause the continental crust to slide across the oceanic crust to the point where the oceanic crust turns into magma somehow, your idea is completely bankrupt. But, for the sake of argument, let's assume that all of those implausible things can happen. Nephi's entire argument is based on friction. Most types of rock melt at temperatures between 1100 degrees Fahrenheit and 2200 degrees Fahrenheit. To produce enough friction to heat the oceanic crust to those temperatures, the continental crust needs to be exerting an incredible amount of force on it. As you probably know, force is dependent on two things: how massive the object is and how fast it's going. Even though a continent is pretty massive, it still needs to be going unimaginably fast to produce the necessary friction. But, for the sake of argument, let's cut Neff a little slack and assume that this is possible. Maybe he didn't make the right calculations, but hey, he probably wasn't expecting the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Let's assume that the continents can slide and that the oceanic crust can be turned into magma due to friction. What happens then? If the continents don't keep moving at such high speeds, the magma will cool and harden again. If the magma is to stay hot, the continents must keep moving. And it's not a professional motion machine. A force needs to drive the continent. Where does that force come from? And where did it go? Why do we not observe it today? If we don't observe it today, why is the magma still hot? I ask you. You're probably wondering right about now why I'm speaking in such vague terms. Well, there are several reasons. 1. The masses of individual continents have, as far as I know, never been measured. Since mass is necessary for finding force, I can't know the exact amount of force a continent would exert on the oceanic crust. This is necessary for calculating friction. 2. In this situation, the coefficient of kinetic friction, or the number that tells how difficult it is to rub two materials together, is unknown. This is necessary not only for determining the friction, but also for determining how much heat is given off because of that friction. Because scientists have never measured the coefficient of friction for a continent rubbing against the oceanic crust, I can't give exact numbers. In other words, the information needed to perform the calculations necessary to confirm or falsify NephilimFree's idea isn't available to me, so I have to make guesses. This raises a very interesting question. Nephi seems very confident in his crackpot idea. Where is he getting his information? Surely if he is so confident, he must have come to this conclusion using precise numbers and mathematical formulae. The simple answer, of course, is that NephilimFree is, like usual, just pulling everything straight out of his arse. All he's doing is forging lies and selling them to an audience that doesn't know any better. Ignorance is no crime, But selling a big fat lie in a snake oiler manner is completely unforgivable. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. And remember, don't listen to creationist bullcrap like the stuff that NephilimFree constantly spouts. Scientists perform many calculations and rigorous experiments to make sure that their theories are correct. Don't believe me? Good. Now you're thinking like a scientist.